Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure we'll be having a wonderful time so far. So without taking much time, I'd like to bring up our next speaker, whom has graciously honored our invitation here today. Praise God. He's Dr. Kennedy Okonkwo. Can we appreciate him? I must tell you the truth. It's a great sacrifice for him to be here today. He was supposed to be at another event, but because he has given us his word, he had to kind of move that a bit, and he's here. Praise God. So I won't want to read the profile. The profile is a very long one. Praise the Lord. And I'm sure in this industry, Dr. Kennedy Okonkwo is not a strange face. He's not a newbie. You know, he has walked the walks. He has the experience. He has the knowledge. And I'm sure he's here today to share some things with us that I believe will change the trajectory of the way we do business in this industry. With Jesus' joy in our heart, can I ask her to rise on our feet, if you don't mind, for just 1 minute, as we just honor this wonderful man who has graciously agreed to be here with us today to come and share some bits with us. Let's put our hands together to welcome Dr. Kennedy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My very sincere apologies that I'm coming in a bit late. Lagos traffic. But it's a work in progress. Please sit down. What I'll be sharing with you today, I don't have any slides, I'm sorry, will be a little bit about my story. Right? I have no business being here if my story had ended under the Ikeja Bridge. If when we lost that place we called home, I didn't have the opportunity to have another roof over my head. If all I can see and remember is as home is that Oba Akran flyover just facing the Obafemi Awolowo glass house, then I have no business coming here to inspire anyone. I am not a motivational speaker, but I'm an entrepreneur. I do not have the formula to make you successful, but I understand the things that you can do that will stall your success. And I also understand the things that will make people look at you with suspicions. And so I started this business as an agent. One great deal earned me 280,000 naira. And that 280,000 naira was earned in the year 2001, when a plot of land in Songotedo was 100,000 naira. I had the option of buying 2 plots of land, or maybe use that as a deposit. But because I was short-sighted, I went for what everybody today in the world goes for: all that glitters. I bought my first car, a Nissan Sunny 1988 model, because I wanted to make a statement. I bought that vehicle from KPS Services, an ISP based in Ibadan, where I had schooled at the University of Ibadan in Agbo. So I bought it automatic. I bought the best of sound systems. 280,000 naira that would have bought me 2 plots of land. I got a Nissan Sunny. I didn't know any better. I lost it all at some point. But God said that will not be the end of your story. I was working in Excel Human Resource Outsourcing as a business development manager. And I managed the Excel UBA relationship outsource services. And in Excel, I gave it my all. I gave Excel, if there was anything like 200%, I gave Excel Human Resource Outsourcing my 200%. I'm sure you had heard of a man called Ubon King. Ubon King, right? The late Ubon King. That was my friend and brother. We worked together at Excel. I was in Human Resource Outsourcing. Ubon King was the head of Excel Securities and Protection Services. And so, while working in Excel, I knew that if I would ever be a great entrepreneur in life, I must serve well as a tremendous employee. And so if the story of Excel is written, those great men that passed through Excel, I'm sure before they close the book, somebody will say, add that young man, Kennedy Okonkwo. Excellence in everything that you do. I worked in Excel. While working in Excel, I ran a car hire service. I ran a real estate agency business. My younger brother drove, I had 2 cars. We alternated it, who goes for the car hire service. While I'm busy, he'll go. While he's busy, I'll go. But no money must be lost. And so when Excel brings in expatriate to come and work, and they needed vehicle, I gave them my Nissan Xterra. I had a Honda City, Honda Civic, and a Nissan Xterra. And those were the 2 cars I used, so we alternated it. I'm the first to ever go to school in my family. I'm the 5th in a family of 8. My dad was an ex-military man. He joined the Nigerian Legion. And on this day, 32 years ago, today, 4th April, he died. So for the past 32 years, I've been without a father. But God never left me alone. He has always brought men that have served as fathers for me. So if you sit down in this place expecting that your dad has not done much for you, your uncle has not done much for you, your brother has not done much for you, your sister, your aunt, even your governor, your local government chairman, your president has not done much for you, ask yourself, what have you done for others? If this young man who was once fatherless had decided to be a beacon of hope for many, your story is not any different from mine. So tell me, what business is there in this world I haven't done? I've sold shirts. I've sold generators. I've sold sand. I've produced blocks. I've done real estate. I've managed haulage trucks. I've owned trucks myself. Just imagine me as a block producer. There were days when the driver would tell me he's not coming to work. That didn't I know that today is public holiday? And I'll drive those trucks. An Iveco flatbed. And I'll drive that flatbed to ensure that my customers get the best experience. If you have paid for block, we must deliver. If you know Twins Faja, the man who sells iron just around the corner, that is my friend and brother Wale. I've patronized them for nearly 20 years of my life. I live just here, Majek. Just here. And when it rained, when I'm coming out, when I lost my last car, when I'm coming out, I'll come out with my rain boots and hold my shoes in my hands. And when I wade through the water, when I get to Twins Faja, I'll drop my rain boots and wear my shoes. And I'll go to work on a bike. And when I come back, I'll wear my rain boots, drop my shoes with him. And that's how that relationship developed. And for each time I went to him, I said, I want 10 bags of cement. I have a project somewhere that I'm building. I paid my bills to the last penny. I never allowed our relationship to affect my paying my bills. And when I give people my word that so day on Friday, 2 o'clock, I would ensure I pay you. I deliver. I pay them. And so I built a strong network of credit lines that many didn't have. And with those credit lines, I was able to start off my initial set of projects. Don't think I just started all of a sudden to do 200, 700, 1,000. No, that wasn't the story. I started building one house at a time. And one day, we decided, I was going to sell where we live, and we're going to move down. And we sold that property for 18 million naira. And with that money, we started our first project for sale at Chevy View Estate. The earlier projects I had done was build, operate, and transfer. That we started precisely 20 years ago. If you go to Oniru, you will see those bungalows. We built 27 of them. I was in paid employment. So I'll come to Wale, I need cement. He'll give me cement, I'll take down, I'll use. When I earn money back, I pay him. And that's how we started that relationship. So after building there, I came to Majek. From Majek, I went to Chevy View. And from Chevy View, the story changed for the better. For each time, I had a major crisis facing me. The next phase of it turns around for something greater. Because in life, if you do not have adversity, what story would you tell? Church, are we together? I am not here to motivate you. I'm only here to tell you my story. And in this story, I know that somebody here is going through that phase. Every day I go through that phase. For each time I have a very heavy adversity, I know that the new level has come. So, excellence. What have you been doing in the real estate sector? Today's market is changing. I hear a lot of people do development and they try to hoodwink the subscribers. Let's take it down. If pastor knows how to manage his resources and build and finish on time, does he need a developer like me or a realtor like you? The answer is no. All right? But because the customers do not want their uncles to tell them a story, they have tried to Google to check who is the most prominent developer online. And they get to find out that the most prominent developer doing very, very well is, what's your name, young lady? You said? Ade? Ade? Adimchi. They call Adimchi as a realtor. Adimchi, I want a developer that when we pay can deliver. What does Adimchi do? Does she research for the developer that will pay her the highest commission? Or she researches for the developer that would deliver what that client that has entrusted her with the information that she has 50 million to buy a house? What does Adimchi think about? She has two choices. Call a developer that will hoodwink the customer, and the customer pass with the 50 million naira, and Adimchi gets 20% commission, and her life and story changes. Or she decides to wait the long haul and says, customer, I have done my research. This developer, he's shangy, he has package, but he has not delivered one project. This other one does not have packaging, but over time, every customer that he has met with, he has what? Delighted and delivered. If she chooses to choose developer B, she's on her way to being the next biggest thing in real estate. Because with that singular customer that she has delighted, the customer calls her mother, her uncle, her auntie, and the customer becomes the ambassador to Adimchi's realty business. But if she chooses the other way, the customer, when the customer is reporting in EFCC, be it 5 years' time, the customer is going to put her name in, what do they call it? In the petition. Who is the agent that took you to Kennedy Real Estate? And Adimchi's name will feature. How did you meet Adimchi? All of it will be there. And you know what? Adimchi's crime is not just the 10 million naira she collected, 20% commission. Her Adimchi's crime is the 50 million naira that was lost. And the confidence the client reposed on Adimchi is lost. And so all over that family, Adimchi's name will be vibrating. Excellence. Are we together? There are developers that will tell you, I can build a house in 6 months. Give me your money. In 3 months, you get the house. And each and every one of you will tell the customers, run there in 3 months, you get your house. When you and I know that that customer has not built a house in their life, the highest property they have built is a gatehouse. And then you take that customer's money there. One of my closest friends is a man called Nobot Agbogba. I sold him a property in an estate owned by one of my cousins who is a developer. He was way richer than me. And when I took him there, after a while, they said Nobot did not meet up payment. And they said, the developer just called me one day and said, Kennedy, I have paid you part commission on the 18 million naira Nobot paid out of 35 million naira. I have deducted the commission I have paid you. I have refunded you the balance. Go and pay Nobot his full money. And I was stranded because I didn't have the money. And I went to Nobot. I said, Nobot, would you give me the opportunity to look for land? And I will build for you. A plot of land in Chevyview then was 8 million naira. And Nobot said, how long will it take you to deliver? I said, give me 12 months. I looked for land. I went for one of the best architects. He designed, got the BOQ. And I started building Nobot's house. Along the line, Nobot lost his job. And he came and said, Kennedy, I know I wanted to buy 2 houses. I have lost my job. I can no longer continue. I want my money back. Nobot's cousin or sister came to me and said, I must take commission from you. Since my brother is now buying from you directly, I am now the agent. Otherwise, I'll tell my brother not to buy from you. Real life story. And then she pressured me, collected money, and did a very elaborate wedding. And as I sat down in the wedding, I could not drink, I could not eat. Because I realized that the money I would have put into the housing project, she had collected it from me. And so when Nobot said, I want my money back, I had 2 options. Refund him some part, or tell him that his sister has collected part of the money. And the wedding he attended, That was part of the money that they had used. And she called me from UK. Kennedy, give me my brother his money, oh. When are you paying him? And I told myself, I'm not going to destroy that relationship. No matter what it will cost me, I will deliver Norbot's money. Because real estate is what? Is real. Because I had invested the money in a landed asset. Before we knew what was happening, Chevy was sitting at 30 million naira per plot. And I had ongoing construction. And so I got somebody to buy one house. And I refunded back Norbert his money in full. You want to know the truth? Norbert has a set of triplets. And I'm the godfather of those triplets. We have kept that relationship going strong from 2008 till today. Norbert is the owner of Silver Jetty in Wole Olateju. And we have supported one another as brothers. The real estate landscape is changing. Marketing is changing. It is no longer the same anymore. It is no longer that time that they tell you, buy one property, get one, or buy a land and get a fowl, or buy a house and get a ram for a layer. It is not real estate. It is not real estate. Real estate is real. Today's customer has what you call data. Data. When they press the computer from the comfort of their homes, they can find out anything about anybody. And I want to whisper to you here, anybody you are doing business with, you go and look for him online, you cannot find anything about him. Check carefully. It's a red flag. Because they definitely have something to what? Something to due diligence. DD. Due diligence is the bedrock of every transaction. There is no bad contract. There are only bad what? Parties. If they tell you that this man is a troublemaker, when you do business with him, you get your fingers burnt. If you like, go and take SAN 10. You will definitely what? Get your fingers burnt. They say if you must dine with the devil, you dine with long spoon. But I'll tell you, can you not leave the devil and his food? It's not everybody you do business with. Church, are we together? This is real. At the Elevation Church, we make greatness common. And so if somebody in this church is on the path to start a Ponzi scheme, tell your pastor. Tell our pastor. Are we together? I don't want to hear that a member of the Elevation Church collected people's money and is now telling them stories. There was inflation. There was COVID-19. COVID-19 is 4 years ago. 5 years. The economy was bad. The economy has always been bad. Let me give you another expo. New millionaires and billionaires will be made in the pre-election year. And people's fingers will also be burnt in the pre-election year. Because that's the year they bring all sorts. They'll tell you it's a distress sale. He needs money. A property that is under EFCC custody, that the man is being investigated for fraud, and they bring it to you. And after investigation, you know, and they said you make a lot of money from it, and you still put your hand. We don't do that here. You know, I told you guys at the beginning of this conversation that what I'm trying to do is not to tell you how to succeed, but I'll tell you the things that you should not do for you to what? For you to. They give you a property to buy. Instead of you to load up people in the funnel, you are spending money on billboard ads. See, today's customer, what they are after is the data they can find on the net or in different mediums. Today's business is data-driven. But most importantly, customers are looking for that person who can touch certain soft points in them. And they will sense it in the things you do, much more than the things you say to them. Are we together? Because they are now very brilliant. And they are looking for non-verbal cues. They wanted to make payment on Friday, and you said, hold on there, hold on, ma. I want to make sure I get them to sign your offer letter. I know you have the account detail. Can you wait a little bit? Ma, I want to reconfirm with my uncle. When I checked online, I saw 2 Kennedy Okonkwo's. There's one Kennedy Okonkwo that schooled at the University of Ibadan. There's one Kennedy Okonkwo that is a fraudster in America. Let me be sure which of the 2 we are dealing with. Am I making sense? And then when you do those things, and you give the customer feedback, or you go back and say, ma, we got the title, we have done the search, but I've decided to go and do an additional due diligence by doing charting. I want to chart the survey that they have given us to ensure the property in question is the same property. Am I making sense? The customer will pinch. If it's a husband and wife, the husband will pinch the wife. And what would they say? This realtor knows what they are doing. I want to tell you today that it will be a shame if you are one of those developers who went ahead and when you did your charting, you knew that that land in Ekpe does not have title, and you are telling the customer, decision in progress. What's the other title we have? C of O in view. What's the other one? Freehold. Survey what? There is one they call survey something. Registered survey. There is no title like registered survey. Let's break it down. There are 2 types of land in Nigeria. The first one, can somebody help me out? Anybody wants to help? The 2 types of land title we have here in Nigeria. C of O?
Governor consent and the C of O.
Governor consent and C of O.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. Now, it's not completely right, but to some extent it is correct. You have what you call a freehold, and then you have a leasehold. A freehold is a property that nobody is contesting it. It's the ancestral land of, bros, what's your name, sir? Engineer Harry.
Yes, sir.
It is Engineer Harry's
I've been
family's.
to the office before.
Oh, thank you very much.
The manhole cover, the chamber cover.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Thank you, Harry. We'll still buy some more. So let's discuss after this time. You don't leave your customer hanging. When a door has been opened for you, maintain the door. Leave it open. If possible, completely put a wedge there. So when you come, you run through it. Harry, are you listening to me? If anybody buys anything from me, I gum them. You have failed to do that too. But we have engineers that you're also related with. Yes.
So when I go back, I said I was told that you were not still available.
Okay.
I said there is a property along what's it called, Orchard Road. We actually sold it for you, and the one at Ologolo.
Okay.
Sometimes 3 years ago.
Okay, thank you. So we'll talk. So, the leasehold is Engineer Harry's family ancestral. The freehold is their family ancestral land. But by the virtue of the Land Use Act, all land resides in the state government. So when you go to England, a leasehold is 99999, 999 years, nearly 1,000 years minus 1. But the English people, because they thought they would colonize us forever, they decided to take our ancestral land and they said, our land will now be what? 99 years. So the leasehold in Nigeria is 99 years. So when you have a family land, they will tell you it's gazetted, it's a freehold. The leasehold emanates from the government and they give you 99 years. That's when you now get a C of O. But subsequently, when you move from one level of ownership and transfer to another, it becomes what you call a deed of sublease, or in the case of a family freehold, it becomes a deed of assignment. There are two types of title. Do you understand? In the leasehold, you keep counting. 99 years less 23 years. That's why when you go to some places in Ikoyi, the leasehold left there is about 17 years. Some have 37 years. If you go up to places like Pangrove and Apapa, the early places, some of them have done what? They have expired. And then you go back to the government to say, government, can I extend it? So you must do your due diligence properly. Today, some states are ahead of each other. Like the Lagos state government, they have EGIS. Their coordinate is exact. In the past, you could take a coordinate in Ekpe and throw it here. Or take one. My first property at the back of this place, somebody sold it to me. I looked up to this woman. She was my aunt. We lived on the same road. She was the wife of a big politician in Nigeria. And I told her, Auntie, teach me real estate. And when I bought property from her, she sold me a property in Majek. I'm sorry to say, the coordinate had been flown. And she's a lawyer. You can imagine somebody you look up to. Do you think I will ever pick a call if I ever see it in my dreams now? And she knew there was problem property. And I was just starting. She gave me a problem title. Till today, there's no title on that land. Till today. Because the bulk of Majek land is our Greek land. And there had been concession to the Majek Kodumi farms. And she knew. And the family was fighting them. Yeah, you people take on the right. Why we hold this left? Don't be used to extort that customer who can change your life. Don't be tempted by the percentage of money, commission that's being offered. I was talking to a customer that I took to one of our projects. The customer was supposed to have 10,000 square meters, commercial plot. And we had offered him those lands at 100,000 per square meter. And when we went there for the first time now, an agent that brought him to me realized that we were only willing to pay him 5%. Took him to another developer who gave him what they call commercial plots inside at the back. And so They sold that for him cheaper. The agent earned 30% commission. And after the customer bought, the customer did not know. We had the privilege of going to site. And when the man got there, he said, God, I would have had 10,000 square meters here. Look at this side. Look at the other one. We don't even know where we are. Eh? This agent is wicked, though. I said, I don't understand. He said, the agent who brought me to you took me to another place and said I should not take 10,000 square meters here. I should balance my risk. And where he took me to, the land they gave me, today, he has crisis. Now it's 6,000 square meters he bought. It's valued at nearly 3 billion naira, facing this road. What sort of realtor do you want to be? Do you want to be on the fast lane? Or do you want to go on a slow and steady ride? I have seen all sorts in this industry. I've seen those that I looked up to. I've seen them fail. But one thing that has kept me going is the grace of God. Every time I'm on a transaction, I tell myself I must be consciously true to myself. That subscriber that parted with money for me, that subscriber believes in my business. That subscriber believes in my dream. And I will not promise the customer what I cannot do. Because the principle is simple. Under promise and what? Over deliver. It is time you start seeing yourself as that customer's Messiah. Because the moment they called you because they believe you know better than them. Don't be used against them. There are developers that have never built a gatehouse. They have promised people they'll give them houses in 3 months. And after 3 months, like I always tell people, every lie told in real estate has an expiry date. If I tell you I'll give you a property in 1 year, and you wait 1 year, after 2 years, where is the property? After 3 years, take note. You have been used to build up a Ponzi scheme. Anybody telling you that give me money, I'll give you 40%, 35% in the real estate industry is operating a Ponzi scheme. They are no longer doing real estate. Am I making sense? I have to be very blunt with you. The fastest way for me to know if a developer is doing well or not doing well is his desperation for money. Is he bringing out different schemes? Is he finishing one before he starts another? How many has he delivered? Not everybody who is advertising that they will give you a house has the intention to give you one. I've been on a journey of building a new Nigeria. Because our pastor, our global lead pastor, has consistently emphasized the need for us to be leaders in everywhere we find ourselves. To do things that has never been done before. To be very imaginative. To build a tribe of great people wherever we are found. And that's why we have the fellowship system that embodies tribe. Those who play tennis together, those who do real estate like we are here having this conversation. And the word I gave them when I went to London is that they also have traffic in London. If you think that traffic is peculiar here, go to London, rush hour, you find traffic. There is traffic in New York. Do you know why a lot of people go and live in the outskirts in London? Because the houses are cheaper there. You know, when I lived in Majek, I had my bungalow, 4-bedroom. The next land was a football field where we came to play football. It was so big because it's Majek. And so when I moved to Chevron, I moved into a terrace. They are not the same value. Government is expanding these roads that you see here. And new satellite towns are being built. And the job of realtors is to understand where government is going, where the plan of government is going, and take strategic positioning for their customer. Because that is what you do with the data that you have. Tell your customer, I am aware. And don't just say it because you heard it gossiply. Go to the ministry to ask them, I heard Mr. Governor say a road is coming up in Songotedo. Have they done the design? Why are you asking? I want to know whether the road affects my mommy's lock-up shop on the road. And they'll say, come in. Where's your mommy's lock-up shop? Can you check in Google Maps? Point to it here. It's public information. They'll give you. They'll tell you. And then you begin to know whether the road has actually been what? Designed. Or whether it's a mirage. And then you determine where you can tell people to go and invest. When I was starting my real estate journey, one of the bases for which I tell myself whether an area is viable or not is when I go and I see high tension pole. Am I making sense? If I see high tension pole on the left of an area and there's no high tension pole on the right inside, I know that on the left will be more viable than what? On the right. Because with the high tension pole, you can pull transformer, you pull light, you have light. Without high tension pole in the whole area, you are in the middle of a jungle. And so that developer is telling you, you can live here next tomorrow. Please look for the high tension pole. You know the one that they call the high tension pole? The one that when it stands, it has 3 hands. 1, 2, 3. The low tension is the one that is shorter. The hands are 1, 2, 3. Well, the day is fast spent. I told you guys that what we have built is a tribe, not a business. And so when you see me, you see my team of Marines and Navy SEALs, who I know that even when I'm falling, they will be there to stand firmly behind me. What do you have? Who do you have in your organization that in your absence can deputize? I can stand up and leave my business today, this moment, and take a trip out of Nigeria for 1 year. The business will continue. That is a business. Maybe 12 years ago, we were like my father's Okonkwo and Sons. But today, it has become a business. And so, in this conversation, I want to remind everyone here that excellence is the habit that you build over time. And that habit must be what? Consistent. If you are in the habit of picking up debts everywhere, in church, in your streets, sweeping everywhere, consistently, your children will see you do it. Your staff will see you do it. As a man, when they see you coming, they start picking. That is the simplest definition of excellence. And so everybody who works with you is looking at you to understand what sort of leader are you. Are you leading by example? Do you practice what you preach? The journey of building a new society starts with each and every one of us. And because as Christians, we will not join them to condemn our country. A new Nigeria is rising. And that new Nigeria is possible. I want each and every one of us to remember to be the government, the governor that you want the governor to be in your home, in your workplace. Be the man you want Mr. President to be in your environment. When you see that your neighbor's son is busy every day loafing around, what leadership do you provide for him? What hope do you give him? The journey of building a nation starts with each and every one of us. The Americans always say, God bless America. When was the last time you said a word of prayer for Nigeria? When was the last time you said, God bless Nigeria? That is where I leave this conversation. And I hope I can spend time to answer your questions if you have any. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, Dr. Ned has given us some time. If you have any questions, we would just want to take just a few. I see one hand. We'll take just 3 questions. One, number one, the man on wine, and then the person behind, and then the person at the back. So, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ned.
Thank you very much.
So my question is, you said we have 2 types of land, freehold and leasehold. For the leasehold, like you mentioned, there's some lands in Ikoyi and Lekki that they have just like 17 years on it. So if lands like that want to do like a demolition and do like build a new project, a new house there for sale, is it possible to apply to government that the number of years on that land will be increased to 99 years, or do you have to wait till that 70 years elapsed before you start afresh again? I don't know if my question was understood.
Absolutely. When you see such land, the best thing to do not buy until you are sure of the possibility that government can extend it for you. Let me give you an instance. Let's say the government has planned that by the time that lease expires, that is when they want to do the new green line and it will hit that area. That means technically that land is what? Is committed. Government is just waiting for the 17 years to do what? To expire. So when you do your land information that you want to extend, they will tell you what is possible. So I always advise people, go and check before you do what? Before you buy. Because it's possible that government may have decided that, wow, there is no football field in the whole of this area, and the area is big. So government is saying that, okay, we must put a field somewhere here, and we have a property that has 16-year lease unexpired. Would you go and buy and just start developing? Who will buy a project that has just 16 years? Am I making sense? So that's my advice. Next questions.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so I want to ask a question. The question is about, I'm a new person in this real estate thing. I want to know a little about it. So the question is, if I am to convince a client or a client here, I'm to convince a client that, okay, this place is good, and they have, there's everything that they have C of O in view, or they have any document on the land in view, and the person decided to queue into or subscribe to the land and bought the land. And if at the long run the C of O wasn't acquired, and the government now came to acquire that same property or to get the property from the client, so in that situation, am I to be blamed? Am I at fault? Am I supposed to do it? Because I'm working under a real estate, not like it's a monile thing. It's under a real estate I'm working with. And if that kind of thing happens, sir, what am I supposed to do? Thank you, sir.
What's your name?
Gift.
Gift. Thank you, Gift. Gift. Let me help you out. There is nothing like C of O in view. What you have is a land that is defined as a government allocation. And one of two things can happen in a government allocation. When government allocates land to you, they put a caveat there that this is not a title to the land. So they give you a letter of allocation, and you're expected to go and pay the government fees, which includes survey plan, neighborhood improvement charge, stamp duties, all of the fees they are going to list for you. It is your duty as a realtor or consultant that you are to ask the developer, can you provide me with evidence of the payment of what the government has listed in their letter of allocation? Because that allocation is what you call provisional, and it expires in about 60 days. If after 60 days the man does not pay and government decides to allocate it to Obiora, and Obiora goes to go and pay, the land never belonged to the company that you were working with. Gift, am I making sense? Please, in this real estate business, all of us are novice, including me. And what novice do is, we do what? We ask questions. There is no stupid question. Sir, I noticed that the assessment for stamp duty is supposed to be 200 million. I noticed in the document you gave me, it's only 50 million that has been paid. Can you provide me with the other evidence that the other one has been paid? Am I making sense? It is your duty as a realtor to double check for the subscriber. So you have to be blamed. May that never be our portion in Jesus' name. So our question has happened to many of us. And when push comes to shove, we realize that the development company got the allocation, they never made any payments. And then they start collecting money, like as if the allocation, provisional allocation letter is evidence of government allocation. After the provisional allocation paper, you go and pay into government account. After paying into government account, government will send the Surveyor General's office to come and victimize the place. And then they now process C of O for you. And then when they process C of O, they release C of O to you. That is when you have a land. And when you get C of O, they will also tell you the C of O does not permit you to go and start construction. You will apply to fiscal planning for layout approval. You apply to fiscal planning for building approval. And when you finish building, while you are building, you will do what you call state certification inspection by Lagos State Building Control Agency. While you are doing state certification inspection, Lagos State material testing will come and test the property for integrity, whether the materials you have used is sound enough. And when you have finished that, they will give you what you call a certificate for fitness for habitation. And if you skip any of them, it doesn't mean government cannot come back and ask you, Where is evidence? Am I making sense? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. I'll be following your journey for quite a while. In scaling and pursuing big business, I've come to realize that most times people buy into your person than the company itself. So how were you able to, in the early stages, overcome imposter syndrome and then building the right perception around you?
So, I have never tried to copy anybody. I have tried to be me. And I grew up realizing that my dad told me, Kennedy, I'm not leaving you with anything. The day I'll be long gone, you will not have a property in your name. The only thing you have for yourself is the education I'm struggling to give you. And what you do with the education I've given you will determine how far you go in life. And my foster dad said to me, that his dad said to him, that what he's leaving him with is an unblemished name, untainted name, sparkling white name. And when he's going to leave the earth, he should transfer the same untainted name to his grandchildren. What I've tried to build for myself is an untainted name, that my kids tomorrow will be proud enough to say, I am Dr. Kennedy Okonkwo's what? Child. What are you doing with your name that will make your son or daughter proud of your name? What legacies are you leaving behind? Is it one fraught with that man who is fraudulent, or that man who will speak the truth no matter what? That man will avoid taking money from a customer because he knows that this project will not succeed. I have refunded customers. When a customer comes and says, I don't want this project, I just paid you. As a matter of fact, a customer came to report that his wife stole his money and came to buy a property from us. And arguments upon arguments have ensued. Things happen. But what do people remember you for? Is it that man that when you do business with somebody, you die their money? And every day you are shouting COVID-19 cost it. You took customers to a developer. You knew the developer had 8 units. And you did not check. The customer sold to 20 units. See, for every developer that has defrauded customers, there's a multitude of agents that are what the police people will call accomplices. I sound this as a warning to each and every one of us. Let us build a better real estate society. Let us be that society. Let us be that tribe of developers that will make a difference. That tribe of developers that when people give you money to go and buy properties for them, we come back to say, this is the product of your money. And not when they hear that the customer has died, they go and seize the property and they deprive that family of the use of those assets. I charge each and every one of us to be good ambassadors of our very dear Elevation Church. Because at the Elevation Church, we strive for what? Excellence in all that we do. Thank you very much.